And after what could be considered a 2-week hiatus from YouTube, at least from posting content, Blazing Ace Nelson is back in the saddle. How's it going, everybody? Well, at this point, I'm floored. Just recently, end of February, I got my hands on a copy of the very game that you're looking at on the screen right now, Dynasty Warriors 8. Now, a little bit of background for you guys. My very first Dynasty Warriors game was actually back in 2000 with Dynasty Warriors 3. My brother and one of his friends from the Marines were playing it. I came over to visit one weekend, saw that they were playing through, I think it was, the Yellow Turban Rebellion. And I was hooked. I mean, not just from seeing it, but actually having my brother, sit down with me, hand me a controller, and having the two of us go through and playing it, 2-player couch co-op style. And, of course, me being the consummate gamer amongst my siblings, I took it upon myself to figure out as much as I can about the game, look up translations, look up FAQs, and not only pass along the information to my brother, but also help him progress through the game as well. And I can tell you right now that the enhancements and improvements that have been made to this game and that have been added to this game, they kind of take it back to the old PS2 days, and that it feels fresh and it feels new, but at the same time, it has that familiar sort of Dynasty Warriors 3, 4, and 5 feel to it. So it kind of holds a special place for me. But let's take a quick second, hit the brakes, throw it in reverse, back out of that special place, and get into the gamer's place, the hype place. The place where we say, hey yo, we're Team Hack and Slash. This new game right here, the people over here in the States, the Hack and Slash gamers here in the States, need this game. Spread the love. Tecmo Koei, listen to the fans. We want this game over here. Localize it. Get it over here so that more of your fans can actually play this and enjoy this. And that's where we are right now. So, seeing as how, in the title it says, soon say Chaos Walkthrough, let's get right down to the Chaos Walkthrough itself. I'm going to go ahead and set this bad boy to free mode and go to offline stage select. Now I'm thinking probably a good place to start as far as demonstrating the new capabilities of an old favorite from way back in the day is to find a good stage to do so. That stage being the old classic Assault on Wu territory. And, as this is a Chaos walkthrough, I'm going to go ahead and put this on Chaos difficulty. Bam! Like so. And I already told you who I'm going to be going through it with. My man, the Little Conqueror, the eldest of the Tiger Cubs. Now, one of the really awesome things about this game is that they actually brought back the ultimate weapons. Yeah, all the characters have their ultimate weapons now. But not only do they have all their ultimate weapons, but the characters' movesets have been decloned as well. Which means for every single weapon type in this game, for all, I forget whether it was like 77 or 79, but for all of those weapon types, there's exactly one character on the roster that uses that as their primary weapon, as their EX weapon. Sun Tzu, of course, having his Dynasty Warriors 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 7 trademark the tonfas. Now, speaking of ultimate weapons, I've already got Sun Tzu. In fact, I got 2 of them. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave both of those equipped as his primary and secondary, so that way you get the full experience. That way I could actually do a full analysis of his moveset while we play through the stage. And what's kind of funny is that the Assault on Wu territory, the stage that I'm about to play right now, is also the stage where you actually have to do the task to unlock his ultimate weapon. Much like in Dynasty Warriors 3. Yeah. So, we don't need to worry about skills. We've already got a good steed on him. In fact, the steed that I have him hooked up with is one I just unlocked in the new mode that was added to this, Commander mode. Said steed being none other than the Demon Horse. Red hair. Now, let me go ahead and find a good track for this stage. A track that says, yes, I'm going to walk through. I'm going to whoop some ass. No. No. Yes. Now, for those of you that have actually played the Orochi games, as well set. For those of you that aren't so well equipped with it, here's a few moves that you might want to keep an eye out for. For example, his Charge 2. It's a good move for as far as, juggling opponents. And it's guaranteed to trigger whatever elements you have equipped on the weapon. There's his Charge 4, which is a good crowd clearing move. His Charge 5, which acts basically like a combination between his 4 and 2. Oh, come on. Then there's his Charge 6. That right there pretty much acts as a grapple, so once you land it, you'll be invulnerable to most other attacks. That is, if you land the full attack. His EX attack being an extension of his Charge 6, which turns him into a short-range projectile, basically. And during his EX attack, once again, you've got the invincibility frames. So it's a good all-around defensive and offensive attack. But the big thing about the Tonfa moveset is the fact that you can stance cancel it. So if you press normal attack during any of the charge moves, he'll actually reset himself to a neutral position, thus allowing you to extend your assault for further damage. It's also good for actually covering up any gaps in your offense. Damn it. Who said you could hit me? Stop that. Bad! Bang! Bang! That's right, goddammit. Young Tiger gonna get this work. And damn, that's a big-ass horse. Now, for those of you wondering about the weapon affinity system, basically, the weapon affinities are kind of a rock, paper, scissors sort of affair. You know, the three affinities themselves, the land, it's like the heavens, the land, and the people. You know, again, one is superior to another, but weak to the third, and neutral to itself. If your weapon affinity is superior to your opponent's, then you'll see a little blue icon over their heads. That's the Valor gauge. The more hits you land, whether they block them or not, will decrease that gauge. And once emptied, you'll trigger what's known as the Storm Rush, which is an all-out attack. If your opponent's affinity is superior to yours, you'll see that red icon above their head. That means if the enemy tries to tag you with a charge attack, you'll see a blue X come up. Hit the button to switch weapons at the right time, and you'll do the variable counter, which has you backstep, attack, and switch weapons, thereby putting you back on the offensive and actually giving you an advantage as far as your footing. Now, if you actually run across a crowd of generals where all of them have varying weapon affinities, depending on how you want to play it, you can either target the one whom you're superior to and go for a Storm Rush to try and catch the entire crowd, or you can face off against the one where you're at a disadvantage and try to use the variable counter to blow back the entire crowd and also switch weapons so that way you may wind up with an advantageous affinity. Looks like his affinity is the same as mine, so there won't be any advantages or drawbacks. Speaking of which, another drawback to facing off against an opponent whose affinity is superior to yours, you can't make them flinch. You can't interrupt their attacks, so you have to be ready to try and land that variable counter. Otherwise, you're probably going to get whacked for a good chunk of your health, especially on the higher difficulties. Another one of the great things about the combat system in this game is that all characters now have access to all three different Musou types. There's the standard one, the high-speed Tiger Fang for Sun Ce in this case. There's also the mid-air Musou, and once you get your character to level 25, you unlock the Musou 2, which is pretty... Whoa! That was close. You unlock the Musou 2, which is basically a more focused attack that does critical damage to whatever target you're aiming at. Ugh! Out of the way! Now, another one of the great things about this game that's brought back from Dynasty Warriors 5 is the Rage mode, or the Awakening mode. Now, if you let loose with a Musou attack while you're under the Rage condition, then it's old school, hold down the button, and watch the sparks fly. The attack will continue as long as you've got the button held down until the meter completely empties. And whether or not you have 1, 2, or 3 stocks filled, once you trigger the Rage mode, it'll immediately fill the entire bar. The way to actually open up Awakening mode is to just constantly defeat enemies. the more enemies you beat, you'll see the little orange gauge build up in the lower left-hand corner. Yeah, that's what that gauge is for. It's easier to fill your awakening gauge, say, if you perform one of the variable counters. You know, something of an advantage to actually facing off against an opponent where you're at something of a disadvantage. You know, it's like what Ludacris said. The more drinks in your system, the harder the fight. Let's see. Let's head back up here real quick and defend the main camp. Oh, and for those of you wondering how to unlock Sun Tzu's final weapon on this stage, you have to beat Taishitsu twice within the first 5 minutes of the stage. Sound tricky? That's how it's supposed to be. There's a way to get it done, no doubt. But you gotta learn it, and you gotta earn it. Boom! Stance cancel. What? I'll just go ahead and... I don't even know why I'm trying to go for all this experience since I already have him maxed out at level 99. But the main camp is safe, so it's time to continue with the battle. Woo! Oh, wow. It's already 11 o'clock. And we're supposed to be setting the clocks forward later on tonight, too. Fun. I'm gonna lose an hour of sleep for work. Well, at least I'm gonna be spending that time doing what I do best. Gaming. Like a boss. So, yeah, I mean, that's one of the things... Oh my god, I done lost track of what I was going to say. I guess the best way to describe Dynasty Warriors 8, even with all the glitches that people have been finding over the past week or so, is that it's a solid game. But more than just being a solid game, it's a wonderful fusion of old, previous gen nostalgia with new tech, new characters, and new stories to tell. And I'm pretty sure that once Tecmo Koei Japan hears enough from the fans about, about the technical problems in the game, the various glitches, some that have actually proven to be fatal game-breaking glitches for some. I'm sure once they hear about those, and once they actually get around to fixing them via title updates and patches, this game will go simply from being really good to being absolutely freaking great. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Dynasty Warriors 8 already has the makings of being best in the series. Bar none, it's the best core Dynasty Warriors game of this console generation. Kind of like how Dynasty Warriors 5 was like the most polished gameplay-wise for the PS2. Dynasty Warriors 8 brings back the refinement of 5. And a lot of the nostalgia as well. But brings it forward. Brings it forward into a new console generation, which is good. Let's go ahead and finish this off proper. Ladies and gentlemen, the Little Conqueror does it again. And now we're coming up on probably my favorite cutscene in the entire game. That poser Liu Yang. You're done, son. It's alright, big homie. See, even he admits it. Liu Yang doesn't appreciate good personnel when he's got it. He doesn't know what having a true warrior on your side means. But little dude Sensei, yeah, he knows what's up. Go ahead. Pound it. Pound it. That is a true bro fist in the Three Kingdoms. And this, of course, being where he finds out that even though Pappy's dead, he inherited the swagger of the boss tiger. There's just something about this dude's personality that just, even to this day, still clicks with me. And he's the one character that has pretty much turned me into a hardcore early Wu loyalist. Well, that right there is going to do it for this Chaos walkthrough. Shoutouts to all my new subscribers that have joined up over the past couple of days, not just here on YouTube, but also following me on Twitch TV. Same name there as here. If you know who I be, you know how to find me on Twitch. Also, big shoutouts to my boys at Team UFG. I just heard the great news that our local Reset Games is going to be available as a venue for our Wednesday night fight nights coming later on this month. So, well, maybe later on this month, probably next month, but still, this year we'll be able to get back into it. So you'll probably be seeing footage from those fight night matches coming up shortly. I also want to give a very, very, very much deserved shout out to all my peoples at Team HNS. Jersey Boy, Mr. Hack and Slash himself, Dark Masamune 87, the Lady Hack and Slash, Crimson Kunoichi, and the newest young blood to join the team, that man Zeta. All you guys, plus the feedback I get not just from you, but from the rest of the subscribers, you guys are really what make this worth it. Alright, enough of the mushy stuff. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. So, that was Sunsa. That was Dynasty Warriors 8. And this is, as always, Blazing Ace Nelson. Stay wrecking shop, y'all. I'll see you next time.